Hi, this is Katie from Fire Tutorials. I don't make videos with me talking because it makes me super nervous, but I think that this is important, that I have commentary in this just so, like I can explain to you exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to teach you how to contour. This is the contour kit that I always use. When I first started, I got the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, and I just wasn't a big fan of it. So I think what I'm going to start with is my nose, because that's like really the biggest request that I've been getting. So actually this brush came with this contour kit here. So, you can get this for 40 bucks at Kohl's or Ulta. I think Sephora sells them too. This is like the best one that I've used, and it's highly recommended, amongst beauty bloggers and people like that. So, basically, I have a full face on right now. I primed, I put my foundation and my concealer on. I didn't color correct today. I am wearing some blush too. Don't know if people still wear blush, but I'm old school, so I do. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this awesome little like flat brush here that came with the kit. You could tell this is a much loved product of mine. And you're just going to kind of put a little bit of product on that. Now, you're going to want to knock off the extra, the excess powder, because otherwise it's just not going to look that good. So to contour the nose, basically what I do is I just kind of like start by pressing on each side here. This is really like the easiest method I've found. And I just kind of like blend it up into my eyebrow here. Very lightly. This side came out a little bit crooked here. The easy way to do this is boom, 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 boom. Just like that. Now you might need to like blend it and perfect it a little bit, but I mean just so you get the gist of it, it's boom, 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 boom. Yeah, this is why I make videos without me talking, because I'm a total awkward potato. So I'm just kind of blending that in a little bit, and see how it looks like really harsh. Hold on, I'm just gonna even that out a little bit here. I totally changed the shape of my nose just by adding that little bit of shadow. Now, I'm really picky and I don't like a really harsh contour, so I'm going to take my kabuki brush here. This is a BH Cosmetics kabuki brush, and it's like one of my favorites. And I just kind of like soften it out like that. See? And then I just kind of clean it up in spots where, I want a little more product to be. Don't ever be afraid to blend your contour. You could always build it back up if you brush the pigment away. You could always just put it back. Now, I'm going to take the highlight from this kit, and it's a really nice highlight, by the way. I'm actually going to use my fan brush. When you use a fan brush, it gives you like a lighter, more natural highlight, whereas if you use something like this kind of highlight brush, it's going to give you like a more dramatic, streaky look. But, of course, you could blend that out too. So the trick with contouring and highlighting your nose is you don't want the highlight to be too bright on the tip of your nose, because then it's just going to look like you were having way too much fun at the club. So, as you can see, I just lightly brushed the tip of my nose like that, and then I just kind of take my fan brush. See? Some people think that's like a perfect highlight, and I think it's pretty good too, but I'm just going to soften it a little bit. Much better. Now, there are a couple of ways that you could do this. Preferably, I really like to use like a big fluffy angled brush. But if you don't have one of these, you could also use like a fluffy tapered brush. This one's a little bit old and well loved, so. So first, I'm going to show you. This is actually like how I learned the first time. If you don't have a fluffy angled brush and you have one of these guys, I'm going to show you how to contour with this. Now, I'm going to start like really, really light. So I'm going to take the lightest shade on here. Just kind of get some of the extra pigment off. And then what you do with the tapered brush is you take your finger and you kind of flatten it out. And you do like a fishy face. And you're going to want to go from the tip of your ear down to the middle of your cheekbone. So I'm just going to show you. Again, I'm starting off really light because if you're like a beginner at contouring, like I recommend like just going really light at first so you don't, look like you're covered in mud. I'm actually going to use one shade darker because this brush doesn't really pick up that much pigment. Okay, so, I mean, that's one way you could do it, and then definitely blend it out. I'm actually going to blend it out a lot because I want to use my angle brush. Okay, so this is the brush that I prefer to use. So you're going to go back into your lighter shade here. Again, you're going to take your finger and kind of flatten it out, too, if you have to. And then you can kind of like blend it up into your hairline like so. I usually like to use a different bronzer that's not in this kit for like up here and around the sides, but I'm just going to keep it really simple today. So I just kind of like blend the darker colors up here. Okay. And then I could just blend that out. Perfect. Now, I'm going out tonight. The place I'm going is kind of dark with, like, darker lighting. So, don't be afraid to do a darker contour when you know that you're going to be in a place that's kind of dark. But if you're going to be in a well-lit spot, like, definitely keep it kind of light like this. And then again, I'm just kind of pushing some of that darker pigment up into my hairline. That way it'll make like my face look a little brighter and like stick out more. And I'm just doing the same thing on this side. Definitely do this in a place where you have decent lighting. Because that could just make all the difference. I have a light up mirror that I got for about $20 on Amazon. And I also have a ring light that holds my phone that I paid the same price for. Don't be afraid to like overblend. Overblending is way better than underblending, trust me. And then I just kind of blend that out. Now another thing you could do if you want it to look like a deeper contour is you could take that fluffy tapered brush, and I'm just going to go into my medium shade here. Get rid of the extra pigment. And just cut it right under where my cheekbone is. And then I'm going to take my kabuki brush, blend that out. God, I love this kit. It blends so nice. Okay. Now my favorite contouring trick, my personal favorite, is you take like the darkest shade. Actually, what I like to do is I just like to this is kind of awkward because I'm trying to show you here. I just kind of swipe it over all three of the bottom shades. Put a little bit of emphasis on the darker one. Knock off the extra product. And you're going to have to look where your jawline is, here, right here. So what I do is just kind of go along your jawbone. This makes a huge difference too, especially if you got a double chin. If you got double chin problems, this is for you. Just be careful that like you don't go up too much, because then it's gonna make your face look kind of weird. And then when you do this, make sure you go behind your ears so you don't look like you have a 5 o'clock shadow. Excuse the nose ring, my little silver booger. All right. Now, even if you don't have double chin problems, as I like to call them, this is definitely a really nice way to kind of make your face pop out, if that makes sense. Just to make you look a little bit brighter. Now, me personally, like, I bake my face, so I don't usually use, like, these lighter shades right here. Like, I might if I over contour and it's, like, dark, but as far as, like, powder goes, I think you could take some of your darker pigment and just put it there. So, as far as powder goes, I usually just do, like, the dark shades. That's why they're so well loved. And then make sure you push that pigment down your neck. So you can kind of tell here I went up a little too far. That's okay. We can fix that, though. And then my favorite trick to do is, depending on what you use to apply your makeup, you could either do this with a beauty blender and just kind of like cut out your jawbone like that. But since I usually use like my round brushes, that's what I'm gonna do. You don't have to put like any extra pigment on. Like, this is just like the leftover foundation. Perfect. And I'm going to take my kabuki brush. I am going to go over my nose one more time with this lighter shade here, just so we could go back to that. Now, another thing you could do is you could use the lighter shade up here, and then you could take this medium shade here and just kind of enhance the tip of your nose. Everybody's nose is shaped differently, so you're just gonna have to kind of play around with it and see which technique you like best. But again, I'm putting a shade that's a little bit darker around the tip. Oh, and you can't forget this too. See? Look a little more pouty. Makes my lips look a little bit more full. Perfect. And remember to blend or else this will happen. Seriously. So I'm taking my kabuki brush and I'm just kind of softening that out. See? My nose looks completely different than it did before. Well, I think so at least. Now the final part, I mean, this is kind of optional, but in my opinion, it's not. Now to continue on to my highlight and contouring tutorial, I'm actually going to show you how to bake your face in a separate video. So basically, like, you could take any kind of translucent setting powder. I like to use Airspun. It's very nice. I have like oily combo skin, so it just works for me. But there's a lot of different ways to do this, but I'm going to show you my favorite way. So basically, like, I took the powder and knocked it out into the cap. And I'm taking the powder puff that comes with it and folding it in half like a little taco. And then okay. And then, so the most heavy place you're going to put it is under your eyes. And then also, right there. Okay. And then I also like to put a little bit, like, on the lighter spots of my contour. And then also where oil tends to gather. So if you have like an oily nose, this is a nice little trick here. Kind of put like a lighter layer like in the crease of your nose. And then you just kind of let it bake for a while. You can put it on thicker if you want. I actually am going to put it on a little bit thicker on this side. Okay. And then you just let it sit. You could let it sit for 30 seconds. You could let it sit for 5 minutes. I mean, I don't know. Oh, yeah. And definitely put some on your chin, too. Okay. So you wait for a minute. And then, let's just pretend we waited for 5 minutes. Then you're going to take your little powder puff burrito. And then you're just going to roll it all over your face. There's lots, like I said, there's lots of different ways to do this. Some people like to use a stippling brush. This is the way that I like to do it. It comes out really nice. And it makes a huge difference, too. It makes your foundation look much smoother and cleaner. Another thing is, if you want your foundation to look good, you have to take care of your skin. I have very acne-prone, sensitive skin. So I wash my face with a benzoyl peroxide wash twice a day. And then I use the Clinique salicylic acid toner. I also exfoliate a couple times a week, but I don't use the toner when I exfoliate. I skip that. So, that's why, like, my skin looks so nice, because I take really good care of it. And I also use, like, you know, face masks, and like moisturizers, things like that. I use the Clinique line. I don't like to push them because they're not cruelty free, but unfortunately with my skin type, I'm kind of like stuck using it. Oh well, we do what we can, right? God, look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful contour. Now, if you feel like you baked for too long or you feel like you have too much product on your face, you could take a kabuki brush and just kind of like dab it. I wouldn't rub it because then you're just gonna like mess it up. So you gotta make sure you dab it and you don't rub your face with it. Same with the powder puff too when you're actually setting it. Alright, so I'm actually going to use the Kat Von D Alchemy kit. This is also a very well-loved product of me. Hate her as a person, but love some of her products. Like, the highlights are pretty good. Don't like the fact that she married an anti-Semite, and don't like the fact that she doesn't vaccinate her kids. But whatever. The bitch makes a mean highlight. So I'm just taking like the pink shade, or trying. I'm gonna show you the lighter the lighter highlight first. Just like this. You want it to be on like the top part of your cheekbone. So if you want like a nice light natural highlight, and I also like to go up in here too and just kind of blend it in. You could do that. Some of us, like myself, like a more obnoxious highlight. So you could take like your glow brush. I'm putting it in that same shade here, just trying to pick up whatever's left in here. This one came out a lot brighter. It's really hard though because I'm almost out of the pink. I'm not even knocking the extra pigment off. I just want to be super extra tonight. Oh! Notice the difference? Look, big obnoxious highlight, little natural highlight. I'm going to go for the big obnoxious highlight tonight. And then again, I could just kind of do that. And I'm going to go back in here and just give myself that obnoxious highlight. Okay, now if you find that your highlight is too obnoxious, to make it look more natural, some people like to use a beauty blender, but I really don't like to use a beauty blender for powder products, so I'm taking my kabuki brush and just kind of rubbing it out. Beautiful. And I'm just going to blend out that little highlight on my nose that I did earlier too. And then that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's a 2-part tutorial. And if you want to see more videos like this, definitely subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Fire Tutorials. You can follow me on Facebook. My name's Katie Runnels. I make all of my makeup videos and pictures public. So thank you so much for watching, and I really hope this helped. If you want, I would really love it if you posted your results in the comments so that I could take a look. Alright, well, thank you guys. Bye.